Samdach Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Cambodia Economic Growth Policy Dialogue. Today I have a pleasure to have two good friends, Ambassador Santo and Dalton, from Indonesia, and I must say that I really like their batik. Beautiful batik. So we're going to have a lot of discussion, not just on batik, but on other things, but particularly on diplomatic, bilateral relation, economic, cooperation, that sort of thing. And it would be a good perspective because Indonesia is, we both member ASEAN, and we work quite a bit together over the years. In fact, going way back to the early 90s when we have the peace process, the role of Indonesia is quite, visible in terms of helping us rebuild the capacity of our official, of our army, of our troops. And since then on, a lot of economic development, and I'm just pleased to have you, my good friend, to join me today for this. It's a dialogue, it's a dialogue.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Excellency Sipana. Thank you very much. Thanks for having both of us here. It's a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to having a talk, a chit-chat, an update of the development of the relationship between our two countries, and of course, Dalton.
Dalton? Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us. So under the leadership of our ambassador, we have seen such a good improvement between the bilateral trade between both countries. So we'll continue to see more good things going to happen between both countries. Thank you, sir, for inviting us.
Well, I think I might as well start with the big thing, which is your 80s, anniversaries of your country thing.
Yes. So just a couple of days ago, Indonesia celebrated our 80th anniversary of independence. So it's been 80 years of independence. There's a lot of achievements that we've gained over the years, but of course we've gone through various ups and downs like many other countries, including in Cambodia as well. So we believe that that this is still a work in progress. Both democracy, our economic growth, our human development is still very much a work in progress. And so we're looking forward to working with our neighbors, to working with our partners in the ASEAN region to not only strengthen Indonesia's capacity and economy, but also how to contribute more towards the region and towards our neighbors and our partners in the region.
Well, I would say Indonesia is quite, you're the big brother because of the size.
Just because we look big, but
yeah. But you come a long way because like 2 years ago you applied to join the OECD, so this is great, and BRICS as well. You're a member of G20, which is very, very important for us, member of ASEAN, because you do represent. You're the only country that are in the G20, right? So from the economic cooperation, from multilateralism perspective, you do help represent ASEAN per se,
Of course, in ASEAN, the economies in ASEAN are very different. We've got some which are more stronger compared to others, which we have ones which are more complex compared to others. But of course, as a community, we've been trying to develop, to integrate the economy of the region stronger over the years, and I think we've been successful in many times in doing so. And I think it is a big responsibility for Indonesia to represent the region, but at the same time, we always highlight the fact that the region is not homogeneous, that Indonesia represents Indonesia, but of course some of the concerns, then some of the challenges faced by Indonesia are the similar challenges faced by countries like Cambodia, countries like Malaysia, and all the other countries in the region.
I recall, I would say a small anecdote, which is when Cambodia chaired the ASEAN in 2022, then Indonesia is G20.
Yes.
So you invite us to Bali.
Yes.
When we got there, the whole plane, right, the Prime Minister, the whole cabinet there, to find out that we arrive at night.
Yes.
In the morning, I was having breakfast with the foreign minister, Praxicon. Then suddenly one staff came to whisper in his ear, and then he just sprung and disappeared for half an hour, and then came back. He said, "Oh, the Prime Minister have COVID."
Yes, I remember that very well.
So
I was in Bali as well,
Yes.
Excellency, at that time.
So we all, because of COVID, the whole plane, we have to fly back home. So we could not attend. Right? So it's
It is an anecdote. It actually happened, Pa. And at that time, I was in charge of arranging bilateral meetings.
Yes.
And one of the meetings that was supposed to happen but never took place was a meeting by then Prime Minister Hun Sen with our President Jokowi at that time. But of course, because of the conditions, it didn't happen. But
Yeah.
it's part of diplomacy. It's part of interactions between
Yes,
countries.
Indeed, yeah. So from that perspective, would diplomatic relation with Cambodia is like 66 or 65 years?
Last year it was 65 years.
65, okay,
So,
yeah.
last year it was 65
Yeah,
years. So
okay.
this year it's 66.
60,
yeah. And of course, we see that there's been a lot of achievements, a lot of growth in the cooperation between our two countries. But at the same time, I believe that there is a lot of room to further enhance the cooperation between our two countries. Our economic cooperation is still not where it's supposed to be. Our people-to-people interactions also need to be strengthened. Not enough Indonesians know about Cambodia. Not enough Cambodians know about Indonesia. So these are some of the things, the challenges that are being faced by the embassy. Fortunately, we have a strong community here in Cambodia, including our business community in Cambodia. Maybe Dalton want to share some of the. You've been here for a long time as well, Pa. So
This is correct.
so have you seen it? Yeah.
Thanks for having me for 16 years now in Cambodia.
16 years, wow.
Yes, 16 years, long time. So I think to add to what our ambassadors just mentioned, the confidence level between the both countries need to further enhance. There's a lot of real information was not passed through each other's. Right? I mean, for those people like me, who stay in Cambodia, we love Cambodia. I mean, we love the people here. We know, how to interact with the people here, and we don't see any problem between how Cambodians treat people like us. So for us who are already in this place, we know this is a very good place to be at. So from the Chamber of Commerce perspective, my idea, my intention is also to create more chances for the both countries' business people to meet more often, to interact more often, and at the same time to further enhance what Pa Adobas just mentioned. The real trade now is mostly on the commodities.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I believe
Commodity, you mean rice? What other commodities?
products,
Oh,
buy and
products,
sell,
okay,
tradings.
okay.
Yeah. But in terms of how Indonesia has been doing with the other countries like Malaysia or Singapore, we can see there's a lot of more in-depth cooperations, right? Like a real partnership kind of cooperations. They put into a business together, they grow the business together, not just trading. This is something that I would like to see more to see some very good opportunity for the both countries to start this dialogue. Our Padu base last year started the Mekong Basin Connect.
Yeah.
That is actually to see if there's an opportunity for both countries to look into infrastructures, renewable energies.
So you start last year? only?
Yes,
We did a bilateral forum.
Okay.
But involving as well stakeholders from other countries.
Okay.
And we did
From the
it.
Mekong region.
Yes.
Okay.
And we did it within the week. We have the Trade Expo Indonesia week in October last year that we did it. This year we are going to do it again and trying to raise awareness about some of the potentials for cooperation, not only in Indonesia but also in the region.
Yes.
And with that, for example, last year the participation from Cambodia was from the representative from the CDC, which highlighted some of the economic possibilities for Indonesian investors to come here in Cambodia. So these are some of the things that we want to do. On trade, I think we need to step up a bit more, promotion and also connectivity as well. Unfortunately, in the first half of 2025, we're seeing a slight drop in trade cooperation between Indonesia and Cambodia. mostly because of a lowering of Cambodian exports to Indonesia.
Okay.
So of course, while I am most of the time, both of us we're busy trying to promote Indonesian imports coming to Cambodia, but I think it's also very important for us to try to promote Cambodian exports to Indonesia.
Total trade's about what, 1 billion?
Yes, it's been 1 billion plus for the last 2 years, and we're hoping this year it could happen as well.
Yeah, I would say the global dynamics is also has a lot to do with that. With this year is more the uncertainty behind the U.S. reciprocal tariff. So my view is that we, as a whole, as a member ASEAN, we have not been able to really push this intra-ASEAN trade.
Yes.
So we're still at around 20%, which is quite low for an intra-ASEAN trade, right? But how do we stimulate more in intra-ASEAN trade? We have ASEP, for example. These are all trade instruments that private sector, particularly the chamber, can really tap.
So for this intra-ASEAN trade, which in some of my article I keep encouraging the ASEAN country to work together, which is actually, to me, this is the lowest hanging fruits that the ASEAN's businessmen have, right? So instead of looking towards further to the other part of the world, I mean, the economy in this region are growing very well. It's steadily growing, continues to grow. So it's to start looking at this country as the what they call the trade partners, the economic penetration partners. I mean, let's take a look at our further neighbors, the Chinese investor. They have been looking at Indonesians, they're looking at Cambodia as a place to invest. There must be a reason for them why they're investing here, isn't it? So, but in the other way, we are not investing in ourselves. So I think this should be further what they call improve from probably forums or business opportunities like Padubas, this Mekong Basin Connect. I think it's one of the very good example, right? It doesn't have to be one party invest to the other. It can be a co-investment, or like what his recent video say, it can be a trilateral investment.
Indeed.
Correct. So, but at least it's still in ASEAN.
I like this notion of trilateral investment.
It's like ASEAN plus or Indonesia, Cambodia plus.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's all, I think in a way, there's an old expression that better to trade with closer by, than because in commodity, weight matter. You cannot hope to export a lot of commodity to market as far as Europe or the US, for example, except for high value commodity. But Indonesia, you have right now how many 200 some million population already?
248 million, 280 million. So
248.
There's a lot of Indonesians, but
a lot of rice eater.
Yes, it's true. So I think I remember the first time I had the opportunity to pay a courtesy call to Samdech Tipade, Prime Minister. He stressed the need for us to enhance intra-ASEAN connection, in particular intra-ASEAN trade. I was actually surprised that he would raise that, but it stuck in my mind that I think in Cambodia there's always been an effort, a wholehearted effort to use the ASEAN productivity base, production base, as well as the ASEAN consumer base as well, to somehow allow our region to grow together. I mean, the biggest challenge is the fact that a lot of ASEAN countries produce the same products.
Yes, exactly.
But we are seeing that various ASEAN countries are now moving to different areas as well, to different fields. Indonesia is moving into development of electric vehicles and all the what do you call it? All the industries, all the industries needed for the electronic vehicle industry. I mean, and also, I mean, some other countries are moving into manufacturing of chips and stuff like that. So
we're moving up the
yeah,
value
and
chain.
of course the various countries, you know,
Yes,
and
yeah.
with that, I think complementarity among ASEAN countries is becoming more and more
Yes.
visible in that
Yeah.
sense. Yeah. So I think when that happens, I think there's going to be more mix match
Yes.
between the economies of the region. Yeah. So looking forward to
I
that.
think from Dalton, you can comment also from the regional supply chain. It's a lot of area that we can hook up. I mean, maybe not 50%, but you can start 10%. You know, to be part of a supply chain, for example, and then over the year you grow. You know, because I think for investment, they always have entry strategy and exit strategy.
Yeah.
How do we get our Indonesian, our Cambodian, to start entering to this collaboration, to this JV, to understand, okay, if I do a JV with an Indonesian, I will understand more the Indonesian market and vice versa.
Yeah.
And what make us think that at some point, we, you know, when Indonesian decide to exit the market, the local cannot take over and vice versa.
Okay, so I don't represent anybody. I'm just sharing this from my own perspective. I always compare the FDI DDI between the two countries, and I believe Indonesia has done a little bit better in this part of the policy. So Indonesia has about 50-50 DDI and FDI, right? So it's almost as equal. So of course, you know, from FDI, everybody has a time of return and a rate of returns. The moment that I hit the rate, then I'm gone, right?
Yeah.
But because there's a lot of local investors involved, at least half involved, right? For the Indonesian business people to continue that business, it's not that difficult. And usually in that kind of arrangement, if you put up, say, 50-50 into the equations, it's not difficult to buy over the other partners. Let's say if the FDI decided, okay, Cambodia, next year I want to exit, this is what I have on plate, are you willing to take it over? And in Indonesia, we have this skill transfer policy, right? We have those things that we need to be selling in Indonesia. We have the localization needs, at least 40% need to be built in Indonesia. So this is like how China did it in the past. You come to invest, you have to transfer your knowledge. So because of the ownership of the company is almost equal, the local partners will always try to enhance. Hey, can you actually improve your productions? I mean, it's like how you force your partners to keep passing on the technology, right? That kind of thing. So the moment that you pass more, that's mean your people will learn more. That's mean this will create a lot of multi-industry in the future. Because in a supply chain to produce, I mean, just look at our microphones here, there's a lot of elements that don't produce by the manufacturing. But it will create a lot of sub-factories that produce the same product for this. So this is something that I think worth noting.
For Cambodia, we have a historical distortion, right? From the mere fact that we went through the genocide, then we have the peace process is only like about 30 years ago, right? So from 93 onward for about 20 some years, the focus is a lot about democracy, about reducing poverty, making sure there's no electricity blackout 3 times a day, less pothole in the street. So a lot of the work of the private sector, they were left alone because the state was not in a position to help them by default, right? Because we're a least developed country, number one. So resource-wise, budget-wise, we don't have much. It is only very recently that the country is stable enough, is secure enough that we can start focusing on value-adding our commodity. And the cashew is a good example. Rice is a good example. But for years, the private sector, the Rice Federation, I was the one who kickstarted the rice policy, right? In 2010, when we started the rice policy, we export only 15,000 tons. 15,000 tons, nothing. But now, fast forward 15 years some later, we're about 700 or 800,000 tons, right?
Yes.
It's still a long time, right? So it means that now we have the opportunity to focus more on the value addition. And I think this is where Indonesia could step in also, because you have much more mature industry in the past. You have more industry with the right know-how, the right technology, the right standard, which you can easily come and tap our commodity, if only to serve your market.
I think we have to make one thing sure, just that I would like to highlight the various achievements and progress that has happened here in Cambodia. I remember coming here first in 2012, and then later on in 2023 I came back, and after 11 years, Phnom Penh was a very different city compared to what it was 11 years before. I know Pak Dalton's been here for longest time, but he sees this every day, so he probably doesn't realize.
He didn't realize
the changes that is happening. But for somebody who didn't see Cambodia for 11 years and came back again, the various amount of progress that has happened is fantastic. And of course, this is due to the resilience of the Cambodian people, and of course the leadership of the government and of course the leaders. Now I think when it comes to sharing, when it comes to working together with Indonesia, I think there are various things that Indonesia can share with Cambodia, because we went through a similar process. In Indonesia, we went through a similar process, and it took us through a up and down journey as well. And so these are some of the things that we're more than happy to share with the Cambodian businesses, Cambodian government agencies working in the economic sector. And but like I said, like Pak Dalton is always saying as well, there's just not enough business-to-business interactions between Indonesia and Cambodia. And I think this we need to work harder, and we realize we have to work harder. But at the government level, we're feeling a lot of love from the Cambodian government, and of course the Indonesian government also give a lot of love to the Cambodian government. So the G2G is doing well.
Yeah.
Now how do we get the B2B?
The B2B. Yeah.
To be more understanding that, Indonesian businesses will say, there's opportunity in Cambodia, and Cambodians can say, look, there's opportunity for Indonesians here. At the same time, we also more than happy to engage in businesses in Cambodia, in Indonesia as well.
Right.
Yes. Pak Dalton, any comment?
Okay, so to be honest, I have a photo that I took on my first trip to Cambodia in 2009 of the Diamond Island.
Nothing there. There's nothing there.
So occasionally I will just take it out and take a look. You see, what's the difference now?
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, go back to what Pak Dubes was saying earlier, the business interactions. Yes, so this is something that we actually need to enhance. Try to arrange. We will try to accommodate more activities, but of course with the Cambodia Chamber of Commerce, see if we can actually do more activity between Cambodian business people and Indonesian business people. Yeah.
I think. Sorry.
Go ahead.
But Pak Dalton was saying with regards to the fact that a lot of Indonesians invest in Indonesia, that has not made it easy for me to try to lure them to go out.
Yes.
Because they're so comfortable investing in the Indonesian economy.
Yeah.
And for them to come here to Cambodia and say, look, you can invest in certain production, manufacturing companies and all that. They say, well, I'll have to do my due diligence. But this will happen, Pa, if they meet the right connections, the right businesses, the right people who say, look, your money is good in Indonesia, but your money in Cambodia is as good as well.
I want to sort of like shed a bit perspective, because you see, Cambodia is always about understanding the historical distortion.
Yeah.
Everything is start with that fundamental acknowledgement that the country is a young country, from a development perspective, because of the war effect and everything, right? So people who after the war who enter to business were all business by happenstance. Not graduate from Wharton, not from University of Sydney in business, MBA, no. None of them.
Self-made people. Yeah.
And by default, they are not comfortable dealing with external for language barrier purpose. Okay, so So they're very much introvert. And, so they did okay on their own because the market is a capture market, right? There's not much competition outside. The country is opening up. But most of them were very comfortable dealing in their own cocoon. That explains why you are not able to have a lot of good interaction with the older business people. Now, what I see in the last 4 or 5 years is a big generational change, as much as a government generational change from the old leader to the young cabinet member. It's the same thing here. What you see is that many of the Cambodian business, when they make some money, they send their kid to study abroad.
And then they come back.
10 years later, they came back with a degree, with some knowledge,
new ideas.
with some exposure, new idea. So this would be more your target. Dealing with a young, open mind, business people who want to do the right thing. I mean, I'm not saying the old one are not doing the right thing, but when you graduate from University of Sydney with an MBA, you want to pay tax. You want to be compliant. You understand what the ESG is all about. So these are the sort of market capture you need to aim for.
Yes. Excellency, this is exactly what I did when I first came here. The first group of Cambodians that I brought to Indonesia to have a look at the Indonesian economy and see the potential for interactions with Cambodia are young business people. Their ages are in the 20s and the 30s as well. So this is exactly what you're referring to, the next generation. And of course, what is important for me is that because a lot of them were trained abroad. And when I mean abroad, it's either in Australia or United States or in the UK. So that's, or even probably in China as well. So their perspective is based on that. But they don't see what's happening around the region. I mean, they probably know Singapore, but that's the limit of it. So I wanted them to say, okay, you got good ideas. You want to elevate the businesses of your family, of your country, but you're looking too far away. Why don't you come to Indonesia and see?
Exactly.
So we've been successful. I've been able to continue being friends with these people who I brought to Jakarta for the first time, and I'm very happy to see them. Their businesses are growing as well, and hopefully in the future they will have in the back of their head, I think we need to go to Indonesia for certain things that they need to do in order to make their business grow.
The way I see is a lot of, you say we ASEAN, we export a similar thing, but I like to look from the complementarity aspect of it. That we have rice. What can you do with I would say the processing from rice, for example, which I think Indonesia probably have more experience. In cashew, what can you do in terms of byproduct? These are the things that we Cambodia, we don't have the knowledge yet. We lack a lot of this exposure. From the money perspective, we have, but it's exposure to how can I make cashew brandy.
Yes. In Indonesia, we actually have produced cashew wine.
Okay. So that sort of thing, you throw away all the cashew apple when with the right technology, with the right understanding, you can process into some good byproduct, for example. So I think we and Cambodia, we happen to have a lot of this commodity, whether it's rice, cashew, cassava, rubber, you name it, because we have a lot of durian. I have not think of how you process a byproduct of durian yet.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Sorbet.
Sorbet. Wow, I haven't thought about that.
So I think there's we've been trying to get Indonesian companies, Indonesian businesses to look into Cambodia. The first and most difficult challenge is for them to look beyond Cambodia as a market, because they would say, if I invest in Cambodia, what's the size of the market? But I think what's most important is the fact that they should come here, set up businesses here,
Yeah.
develop with the Cambodians using the natural resources here,
Yes.
but for the Chinese market.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I've thought the same thing.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
because
true.
we have these ASEAN free trade
Yeah.
agreements, right? So if you think that it is too heavy to produce everything in Cambodia, you can send in CKD
Yeah.
or SKD, right? The final assembly here, or some packaging, or just make a point that this place will be a final export for somewhere else.
Yeah.
To export from Cambodia to China or to even Japan, I think this is the cheapest
Yeah.
place to go, right? For me, Indonesia is expensive.
Yeah.
But the thing that we need to solve is between Indonesia and Cambodia, the logistic.
Yeah.
So a lot of countries' logistic cost has recovered since COVID.
Yeah.
Cambodia has not yet. This is one of the fallback parts. So we need to see how to improve the logistics.
Yeah, I met with the CEO of the Silver Port Authority the other day, and he explained to me the plan for the next 5 years to deepen the port to I think 14 meter, and eventually to like 20 meter. So in other words, in about 5 years' time, our port can accommodate all the vessels in the world.
That would be good.
So we no more a feeder port to Singapore or to Kai
Yes.
Map, right?
Yeah.
So that should lower the transaction cost.
Yeah.
But for commodity, the Daejeon Canal
Yes.
would be a game
Yes,
changer.
yes, definitely.
It'd be a game
definitely.
changer because the northern part of Cambodia where it's all agriculture commodity, it finds its way. You see a Mekong River is underutilized.
Yeah.
With the exception of a few ferry and a few sand dredger, that's it.
And those afternoon boats, but
Yeah,
for
that's
sights-
it. That's
for
it.
sightseeing, yeah.
For sightseeing, that's
Yeah.
it. It's so underutilized in terms of transport, right?
Yeah.
But these are the opportunity if you have a bit of long-term vision. Yeah. Long-term vision, yeah.
And I was just recently in Kampot and Kepa,
Yes.
where I met with the governors there as
Yeah.
well. Tried to get them to see potential cooperation of sister province cooperation. And the reason for that is that so that people become familiar with Kampot and Kep. And so when we introduce potential investment products in those provinces, Indonesians will not pay, oh, where's Kampot or where's Kep?
Yeah.
So most important thing, to get the names right. You know?
Yeah.
Siem Reap is a well-known name in
Yeah,
Indonesia,
exactly,
Angkor Wat,
exactly,
Phnom Penh,
yeah.
but some of the other places which in the future, after the Funan Techo Canal has been constructed, I mean, Kampot and Kep will definitely be
Definitely, yes.
a very high place, a very important place for investment.
And for Indonesian, it's a coastal area.
Yes.
So they're very comfortable, you know.
Yes, and with tourism and stuff like that as
Yes,
well. Yeah, so
yeah.
there's a lot of potential cooperation there. So,
Basha, I want to shift a bit to more on a multilateral issue. You did mention in the opening that Indonesia is planning to be a member of the BRIC,
Yes.
your OECD member, your G20. So Indonesia is in ASEAN is on the forefront, leading the grouping, ASEAN grouping, to play a very good role in the multilateral aspect, right? So I mean, I also understand that you applied to join the CPTPP also, no?
A while ago.
A while ago, yeah.
So I think with Indonesia,
But the BRIC is more.
yes, more.
eminent,
That's
yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, Indonesia has been allowed entry into BRICS. So we are now part of BRICS.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Officially now?
We're official. Yeah,
Awesome.
we've participated in the recent
Brazil.
BRICS summit. Yes,
Yes,
President Prabowo was there as a member of BRICS.
Beautiful.
But what I think the most important, the basic principle of our foreign policy, especially now under the leadership of President Prabowo Subianto, is we want to participate in all the various forums where we see Indonesia playing a role in contributing towards the forum or in contributing towards whatever the forum is aiming towards, and also how that forum could contribute towards Indonesia domestically, be it defense, security, economy, people-to-people interaction, socioeconomy. So that's the basic foundations of it. And I think, but at the same time, we recognize that in ASEAN, even though we are the largest economy, even though we are one of the initiators of ASEAN, we always regard Indonesia as being equal to any other ASEAN countries as well. That's why opportunities are always given to some of the smaller countries to be chair of ASEAN. But at the same time, it's a community. So in a community, of course, you have, like you said, I mean, if to use the easy word, brothers. There's always a bigger brother. There's always a younger brother. There's always a bigger sister and a younger sister as well. We take turns listening to the needs and the concerns of the various countries. So I think it is very important that we maintain that Indonesia is not an overbearing country here in the region, that the community is built upon the fact that all countries are equal and they have equal say in how this region should move.
Well, I remember fondly the 2020 when you have the ASEAN 2022 when you chair the G20.
G20, yes.
I was the Sherpa.
Oh, you were there?
I was Cambodia Sherpa.
Oh.
We attended Labuan Bajo.
You were there, yeah.
Yes. So I mean,
that's a new area. It's a new tourism area.
Yeah. It's I didn't have a chance to go see the what's called the
pink beach as well at the Komodo.
The Komodo
dragons.
Yeah.
Komodo dragons. Yes.
I didn't have a chance.
I've never seen the Komodo dragon either. Don't worry. But anyways,
yeah. But these are the sort of leadership that Indonesia have shown, because for us as a smaller brother in ASEAN, it's important that we could at least tag team with the big brother, right? Particularly on multilateral issue, because for Cambodia, when you deal with multilateral issue, we're too small sometimes, but you need the weight of somebody bigger, right? On climate change, on logistic, on that sort of thing that is driving the dynamics of the multilateral.
I think most important thing is that peace, security and prosperity in Cambodia is important for the region, and of course, because it's important for the region, it's important for Indonesia as well. So I think we're no longer living in a world where we shouldn't care about what's happening 100, 200, 1,000 miles away. What is happening here in Cambodia has relevance towards what's happening in the eastern parts of Indonesia. So I think this is why, as a community, we work together towards that particular aim and goal.
Dalton, anything on from the business perspective?
ASEAN in particular.
ASEAN, so I agree with what Padubes mentioned earlier. Whatever matters to whatever happens to our neighbor is just as good as whatever happens, in the for the east or for the west. So we need to put that into our, be more attentive to this region.
We have a lot of occasions where the ASEAN businesses get together. Like for example, during ASEAN, there's usually the ASEAN Business Summit as well, right?
Correct. Yes.
But how do we go beyond just meeting up and then saying hi and all that to actually doing more concrete work? And how do we involve some of those who were not at the summit to be more active and all that? And of course, you said the young generations. I think this is the key part. Cambodian and Indonesian young generations is the key.
Because I think I've been covering ASEAN quite for many years, and the one recurrent comment that I hear is that they consider that ASEAN is an elitist group,
and
the leader,
government officials,
official, foreign minister, trade
big
minister,
businesses as well,
the big guy, the big boys, and always in a big hotel, fancy resort, that sort of thing. But it doesn't filter to the lower part. But I always tell the journalists also that you guys have to cover more the practical aspect of the ASEAN side, because of course you need to have a photo of the leader, photo of foreign minister. It's fine because you're a journalist, you have to sell news. But there's a lot of news that are below. Say for example on trade facilitation, how many journalists would slave to dig, okay, how do we trade more, how do the custom we can clear in less than 6 hours. That sort of thing matter, because you know I wrote a book on ASEP, and I would say it's very boring. Okay, because
It can be boring. But
it's very boring.
If you were the one who wrote the
Yeah,
book,
of
it can be
course.
boring.
It is boring, but when you look at the detail, if only somebody would take the time to explain the business practical dimension, you will see a lot of benefit.
Yeah.
But again, you know, journalists love to cover the macro, but they don't like to cover the micro. So I say, for example, how do we stimulate business, right? That in terms of agriculture product, for example, fresh produce, that in ASEAN now, in the ASEP, you have a 6-hour perishable item, right? That the custom will need to clear in less than 6 hours. Right? It's there. It's stuck somewhere, that provision in that thick document. But how many people knows? So that's why I think the role of journalism is also very important. That whenever I attend a conference, I always stress that the Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Industry, they should have more program more awareness to say, okay, we signed this agreement, we signed this FTA, we signed this regional free trade agreement, right? Beside the fanfare, the photo
The
section,
ceremony.
there's a lot of detail that benefit the private sector.
Yeah. I think also, Pa, with regards to information and how information flows between Indonesia and Cambodia, we see a lot of information not going directly.
Yeah.
Meaning that, for example, people read about Cambodia in Indonesia based on news media reporting, that is based on reports made by Western media.
Yes.
So of course the angle, the perspective towards Cambodia is already
Yeah.
a skewed perspective. It's a perspective of certain other countries. When people ask me about Indonesia, they're concerned about the issues of terrorism in Indonesia. And I was thinking, why would a Cambodian think about terrorism about Indonesia? Oh, and I realized it's because they've been reading Western media's interpretation of what Indonesia is, which is a country that is very much suffering from terrorism. So I think there needs to be stronger direct interactions.
yeah. Our own narrative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indonesia's own narrative of Cambodia and Cambodia's own narrative of what Indonesia and what have you and all that.
Yeah.
So I think occasions like this, it's
Yeah.
it's good. Hopefully, Indonesians would pick up because it's in English. Hopefully, they will and get to meet the very popular Excellency Soksipana here.
No, I want to say that many who come here as tourists end up being investor.
Yeah.
Many of them are happenstance. They say, wait a minute, there's an opportunity here. But if they would have come as investor, they wouldn't come.
In the first place.
In the first place.
They were getting all this
Yes,
information.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's quite a. I think it requires certain paradigm shift in terms of crafting our own narrative. Like you come to Phnom Penh, you don't realize that this is a country that 30 years ago emerged from a civil war. It's very difficult to explain to them. But then when they come and say, well, it's a normal country as far as I'm concerned.
No. Whenever Indonesians come here, they're always surprised by how.
Not even that, sir. So a couple of years ago, I do a business forum in Jakarta.
Yeah.
So I brought some delegates from Cambodia. That is before your time, right?
Yeah.
So we showed the videos on this how Cambodian city looks like, Phnom Penh city, how that look like. A lot of people got in shock. This is Phnom Penh? It's like the very genuine reaction. This is Phnom Penh? This is not made up video, right?
Because unfortunately, the Cambodia that a lot of Indonesians know is what they read from the history books.
Yes.
About of course our exactly and Indonesia's role in the peace process and all that. So that's what makes it into the books. And then but after that, as we grew up, we don't hear enough news from Cambodia, particularly. So we're the embassy is trying to do our best in releasing information about what it is to be living in Cambodia, our social media as well, because social media these days is sometimes even more advanced than the traditional media. So that one we have to do as well.
You know, I think in terms of narrative stuck from the previous, I would say, narrative writer. I recall for many years with the U.S., right? U.S. because you have like Senator McCain, for example. He's a Vietnam War veteran. He was, I think his plane was shut down, and he was in a prison
in Hanoi. I think.
In Hanoi, the Hanoi Hotel.
Yeah, I think so. If I'm not mistaken,
So basically, his generation, for years, they've been talking about Cambodia in the context of Vietnam War. Well, he passed away a few years ago, and many of his colleagues about the same age either passed away or getting old or retired. So you don't hear the narrative anymore. It's very interesting. You don't hear the narrative of the Vietnam War anymore. So we talk to American. I mean, it's about other things, but not much mention of the Vietnam era. So again, you see, it's all about how people hear about the narrative, right? I think that Cambodia now we have to craft our own narrative, because it's a Western-centric narrative. It serves a certain agenda, but ultimately, we ASEAN, we Asian, we have to have our own agenda. What's a good thing about Indonesia? What can we do together? What's a good thing of Cambodia? How can we interact? That sort of thing.
And of course, here we hope that there will be more exposure of Indonesia, so that people are not only aware of the fact that Bali is part of Indonesia, but also some of the good quality products that come from Indonesia, and how that should be a door that would lead to other business engagement.
Indomie.
My hope is that buying Indomie would somehow lead you to feel, okay, maybe we can do business with Indonesia as a whole.
Yes.
I mean, so that's our biggest hope.
Speaking of Indo milk, I did a research, and I find that in Cambodia now we have a daily demand between 120,000 liter to 150,000 liter per day.
Of milk.
And of milk. And there's only 4 cow, grower
in Cambodia.
In Cambodia that produce milk, right? Only 4, right? And these 4 maximum, they could only produce 20,000 liter, 20,000. So there is a gap, a local demand of 100,000 liter per day. So I think these are a sort of opportunity that it's very micro opportunity, but it is an opportunity.
Well, for sure, with Indo Milk, they've been getting a lot of new demands for more imports to Cambodia. But that should also open other brand names in Indonesia as well. And with that, other products as well.
I mean, aside from the import, they could invest into,
exactly.
Making the milk here, for example.
Once the Indonesian businesses recognize, hey, look, our exports to Cambodia has gone up. Maybe there is, interest. Maybe there is a room for us to go there. Not only as traders, but also as JV.
I mean, milk is only a micro dimension. But say, for example, rice. I mean, they could come and invest into a rice milling facility to serve only the Indonesian market, for example. And there's other example.
There's also services, actually.
Service.
Over the years, I'm seeing more and more Indonesian teachers coming here and teaching, not teaching Bahasa Indonesia. I mean, they're teaching English. They're teaching sciences and all that. So there's room for services as well, and the telecom industry as well, and various things.
Professionals are coming in.
We
have a lot of Indonesian GMs,
the aviation, a lot of GMs from here, and of course the tourism industry.
And we need good band to play at the Hard Rock. Okay?
There used to be an Indonesian band playing at
Hard
one
Rock.
of the Hard
Yeah,
Rock,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think not anymore.
Yeah, okay.
You have our ambassador ready for you.
I'm ready to be part of your band, Excellency.
But you need to have long hair.
That is going to be very
That's
difficult
going
to
to be
do.
a while. Oh, that's great. No, I think we cover quite a bit of
Thank you, yes.
issue from multilateral, from bilateral, ASEAN. So there's a lot of opportunity, to cooperate from my view, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to highlight that this should be an all-out effort.
Yes.
When I came here, I recognized that our diplomacy needs to be carried out as I'm a football aficionado, so it has to be total football.
Yeah.
It cannot be only the government working towards strengthening cooperation. It also needs the main stakeholders.
Yes.
And of course, one of the main stakeholders is of course the business community, both in here, the Indonesian business community here in Cambodia, but also how they interact with our business community back home in Indonesia.
Yes.
And of course, we're hoping that the same could be carried out as well on the Cambodian side. That it's not only government to government, but also business to business, students to student, university to university, media to media as well.
Yes.
So total football,
total
total diplomacy in that sense.
Total diplomacy.
So yeah, that's what I hope. Yeah.
I think, again, from a historical perspective, I cannot help but, every time I talk is to throw that background. Because that background sort of like explain a lot of things that is happening now, right? After the war, the Cambodian business don't have the resource. Now they have the resource. And that's why now it's much easier to connect them because, let's say, Dalton, if you wanted to do a reverse trade delegation to Indonesia, right? They can support themselves. What they need is a connection and entry point. They finance themselves. While 20 years ago, it's not possible.
Correct.
So this is where I think that they have the knowledge, in a sense, if they are young, returning graduate from abroad, their parents happen to have the resource now. I mean, the last 5 or 10 years, there's a big boom of real estate. So it's a lot of saving accumulate. It's quite clear. A lot of initial endowment from their parent, right? So from that perspective, what the Cambodian need is opportunity, knowledge of technology, processes, and then you combine the two. So Indonesia could be the process technology provider, the experience, and then finance, you don't have to worry about it because they can self-finance.
So from a Chamber of Commerce perspective, sir, we are ready to connect. So, like, we and Ambassador, we always discuss how to make things more productive, more efficient. I think we need to be very selective on who to bring to, not selective on whatever industry, right? It has to be a very focus on, okay, what do you want? A group of people are going to come and see you. They are from the related business or related industry that you want to talk about. I'm more than happy to do all this kind of thing. And in fact, I've been doing quite a lot private trips, bringing some private business people to make it our business together. So this is something that I hope in the future we can make it more frequent, bigger, and hopefully through this dialogue, more people will be aware of Indochem, and feel free to approach us. Then we can actually do some arrangement.
Because now we all know that we have a very young in age, right? Cabinet. So they're very business savvy. They understand the Western way of doing business. So opportunity is there for sure.
Indeed, opportunities are there, is there, and also we're trying to get the public also to be more aware of Indonesia, of the potential between Indonesia and Cambodia. And I think while I understand that you always highlight the feeling that Cambodia is a small country and Cambodia is a country that has just come out from the challenges. But I think I whenever I meet the Cambodian students, and I go to universities quite often here in Cambodia, whenever I see them, I always tell you need to be proud of your country. You need to be proud of the fact that you've achieved so much, but there's a lot of room for you to grow.
Speaking of that, I always tell many of my friends, my Cambodian friend, right? Sometimes they're a bit impatient, and I say, guys, you have to slow down a bit. You have to look backward quite often, because when you look up or you look too much forward, you don't realize that what you went through, your journey there. I recall when I came back and I worked for the UN at that time in '93, we have a blackout 3 or 4 times a day.
In Phnom Penh?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 or 4 times a day. Potholes everywhere, So, I mean, from that perspective, we come a long way.
Of course.
We come a long way.
Of course.
But what we don't want for them to say, oh my God, I mean, the bus or the train is late 2 minutes. I'm gonna complain to the government. Why the bus is 2 minutes late, right? No, we don't want to be that.
Every government everywhere gets that. Actually.
Yeah. Why is late? How late? 2 minutes. Oh, shoot! I thought it was half an hour. So I think we have to look back more, and I've been asked by the Prime Minister to lead a big delegation to go to several countries to learn more about the issue relating to the accession to the CPTPP, right? And I have a good team, and I keep telling them, I say, look guys, whatever you learn 20-some years ago in the WTO thing, it's gone. Now a lot of new issue, right? But having said that, you have so many technology help, right? AI, all these things here. So I mean, I look back, I say, oh my God, if 20-some years ago I have 1/10 of the help that is available now, my life be easy, right? But now you see, everything is so advanced. I'm an AI IT dummy, okay? Slightly better than idiot. They have this book, AI dummy and AI for idiot, right? I'm slightly better than the idiot. But it's amazing how we look what we have, and then you realize, okay, I have a lot, right? I mean, I look at the younger generation now. Most of the kids are well educated. They speak good English. You go to in Diamond Island, you mentioned, right? KPMG have what? During lunch hour, you have to fight to get to the lift, because there's about 200 of them getting out. To go to lunch. And you look at their face, they're all young, They're all young, and yet they work for KPMG. So I mean, the opportunity is there. The craving of the younger generation to perform, to show their boss that they're capable, it's there. It's there.
We are also seeing in government as well, Excellency. A lot of young officials in government as well.
So I mean, I have a small cabinet, about 16 of them, and they're all young.
Yes.
The oldest one is 25 years old.
And I was told that all of them wear bow ties as well, Excellency.
Only one. It takes some courage. At least I got my chief of cabinet to have the courage to wear bow tie.
Excellent.
But they have this now. So we taught them etiquette, how to dress up well,
Yes.
But they can absorb that very fast. Very fast, yeah. So I was told that my cabinet are probably the best dressed. Well, Ambassador Dalton, it's such a pleasure to have you for this very pleasant chit-chat, right? But it's quite informative, and to the audience who've been watching this program, I hope you can get the gist of our conversation. We're dealing with a good neighbor, a bigger neighbor for sure, but a neighbor that have a lot of mean, a lot of experience, a lot of capacity. How do we, when I say we, I say the younger generation, the young professional, the young private sector, the young bureaucrat, how do you look up, not so far, but Indonesia, we're part of ASEAN, how do we learn from them? How do we find way to cooperate with them? And it's not only from the government side, private sector, business, academia, the intellectual community, all these things is opportunity to for us to embrace and to be a good neighbor. So, Ambassador, on that note, I want to say thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having us.
We are reaching a 45-minute too fast. We could go on another hour.
I know.
Dalton, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, Ambassador, thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.